The Kingdom of Thailand and the Kingdom of Morocco established diplomatic relations on October 4, 1985. The embassies of the Kingdom of Morocco opened in 1994, and the Royal Thai Embassy opened in Rabat in 1993. Both kingdoms are constitutional monarchies, and both of our heads of state are leaders of faith. His Majesty the King Mohammed VI is the commander of the faithful, and His Majesty มหาวชิราลงกรณ์พระวชิรเกล้าเจ้าอยู่หัว King of Thailand is the President of Faith. Now I'm with His Excellency Ambassador Abderrahim RAHHALY, Ambassador of His Majesty the King of Morocco to the Kingdom of Thailand. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Such my honor to be here and we interview and talk with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
As the Kingdom of Thailand and the Kingdom of Morocco are celebrating this year the 40th anniversary of their bilateral relations, would Your Excellencies provide us with an insight on areas of cooperation between the two countries?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to top news audience. That's very kind of you. Indeed, our two countries established their diplomatic relations 40 years ago in 1985. And since the establishment of those relations, our two countries have always enjoyed excellent friendship, mutual respect, continuous consultation and cooperation in many areas, whether it's on a regional level or international level. On the political level, Morocco and Thailand organize every year regular sessions of what we call a political consultations mechanism. This is a mechanism by which or during which the two countries meet and discuss various issues of cooperation and to evaluate as well, jointly evaluate the cooperation and explore always new ways to further enhance those relations. The two countries, of course, have the potential to develop multi-dimensional cooperation thanks to their geostrategic positions, to their trade assets and business opportunities. We know we are two ancient kingdoms in a very strategic areas. Morocco in Northwest Africa and Thailand in Southeast Asia. We are at the crossroad of many cultures and many civilizations. And basically that's one of the reasons made our countries similar to each other, whether we speak about Thailand as a country of smile, and I'm always glad to speak about Morocco as a country of hospitality. So Thailand and Morocco have gave the potential to develop a stronger multidimensional cooperation, as I said, and many legal cooperation instruments were all conducted and finalized. And some of them are on the effort to continue to finalize them. Though I'm speaking about areas of trade, fisheries, higher education, tourism, customs, visa exemptions, diplomatic training, cultural exchange, people-to-people connectivities, like when Morocco offers every year 15 annual scholarship to the benefit of Thai students to enroll any academic programs of their choice. So those are basically where we are. We have the will and the capacity to further develop those relations. My duty as ambassador is to get the necessary connectivities, not only on a political level, but between the business communities, between trade actors, and so on.
We're trying to cooperate between tourism?
Yes. Yeah, we have. As I said, we are similar in raising tourism as one of the biggest pillars of our economies. I mean, the importance of tourism in Thailand, it's very well known. It's the same for Morocco, so that's why we are now on the verge of signing an MOU on tourism cooperation between our two countries.
You have been serving as ambassador of Morocco in the Kingdom of Thailand for more than 3 years now.
Yes.
How do you find Thailand?
That's a good question. How do I find Thailand? I'm enjoying serving my country in this beautiful country in Thailand. Thailand is really a place that helps you really to better serve the interests of your countries thanks to its diversity, thanks to the vibrance of its economic activities and so on. Thailand and Morocco are both, as I said earlier, ancient and deeply rooted kingdoms who have a rich culture and rich heritage. Morocco and Thailand, once again, are key regional actors who undergo significant socio-economic development. They both hold common interests of developing and sharing their how-now in areas of food security, renewable energy, sustainability, smart economy, innovation, and so on. Our two countries are both lands of tolerance, of dialogue, openness, and cultural diversity and hospitality. And that will make it easy for an ambassador coming from a country like Morocco to feel at ease when dealing with Thai people as well as the Thai officials.
And Thai people always smile.
Definitely. A beautiful smile of the time, so which is good.
As me too. Okay. Could you tell us about Morocco's recent development achievements?
Yes. Since the accession to the throne of His Majesty the King, we embarked into a very ambitious, let's say, train of reforms and development. Thanks to the visionary leadership of His Majesty the King Mohammed VI, Morocco has been adopting several strategies in many areas that are really important to the development of our country. I am talking about justice, equality, human development, youth empowerment, healthcare, green economy, industry, investment, agriculture, education, and tourism, and so on. Those are, let's say, pillars of our economy, but those are as well sectors where they can bring their aid to develop the assets of the country. Part of this visionary leadership, His Majesty overlooked what we call new development model. It is a strategy aiming at bringing new tools, looking at what didn't work before and prospecting what are the options that are available to the country. So we came with this new development model, which was adopted in 2021, giving way to a new approach to address the growing challenges and challenges that the Moroccan society has to meet and has to achieve in terms of progress and socio-economic prosperity. To cope with the increasing technological development, Morocco as well is investing in areas of artificial intelligence. Thanks to the Moroccan International Center of Artificial Intelligence, Morocco bears the ambition to become a regional AI hub, benefiting its national and regional ecosystems on strategic, educational, and industrial level. Moreover, the government's effort and policies are underway to expand urban network, renovate and extend airports, build new roads and railways, enhance hotel services, strengthen medical service, modernize telecommunication, and develop youth skills programs and upgrade stadiums and sports infrastructure. By talking about stadium and sport, I'm glad to see that Morocco is now embarking on a very large-scale reform and development of its infrastructure in the perspective of holding in the year 2030 the FIFA World Cup with Spain and Portugal, which is really a very promising opportunity for development of our country.
I heard that taking Morocco closer is being at Europe and Africa.
Yes, Morocco is being at crossroad of Europe and Africa and is emerging as a pivotal economic and regional actor. But before, let me share with you a nice metaphor expressed by late King Hassan II, may God bless his soul, when he described Morocco. Beautifully described Morocco as a tree whose roots are deeply anchored in Africa and whose branches overlook Europe. Morocco is a gateway between Africa and Europe. It's really at crossroads. As an African country, Morocco was and is always committed to reinforcing and fostering new partnerships with the African countries through an efficient, solidarity-based, multidimensional South-South cooperation. I think more than 100 agreements were signed during the last year with Africa, and His Majesty King Mohammed VI visited basically the majority of the African countries. Morocco's cooperation with African countries is steadily increasing. thanks to the personal commitment of His Majesty the King, as I said, who places human and economic development at the core or the center of its actions, initiatives, and the projects to ensure the African continent economic prosperity. Morocco introduced many projects. To name a few, the Royal Atlantic Initiative, which was launched in 2023 to enable landlocked Sahel countries like Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso to have access to the Atlantic Ocean. Such an initiative will contribute to the economic prosperity of those countries, as I said, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Chad, as well as to the African Atlantic region, because many African countries share the Atlantic as a coast. So there is many countries as well. 46%, I think, of the continent's population is dwelling with 55% of Africa's GDP, and that represents a large-scale market of basically 57% of the gross continental trade potential. So this is really a very important initiative. The second one is the Moroccan-Nigeria gas pipeline, which covers basically 6,000 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken, from Nigeria to Europe via Morocco. And the pipeline will benefit 11 African countries, those countries who are on the way, like on the Atlantic side, as well as those who are inland, landlocked. So 11 African countries with over 400 million people, I think. So many other, let's say, actions of Morocco, let's say, on the level of peace and stability in Africa. Morocco is really a very big actor, contributing very heavily, very strongly to the peace and the prosperity of the continent. And Morocco has been undertaking many actions. Maybe mention Morocco's participation in many peacekeeping missions in Africa. Like Thailand, we are a country that contributes peacekeepers throughout the world, but mainly, basically in Africa. We are participating in the peace-building process in Central African Republic. We've been facilitating the political and peaceful dialogue in Libya, whether in the city of Khairat or in the city of Buznika, or the city of Tangier in the north of Morocco. And we've been very active effort to counter terrorism and extremist narratives. We've been as well very active in strengthening policies relevant to climate change and environment. Morocco is one of the big actors in Africa and in our region when it comes to climate change effort and environment. And then, thanks to Morocco's progressive migration policies, because we have a very positive migration policy, very human, and that integrates many areas. Morocco's progressive migration policy and national strategy on immigration and asylum enabled us to be seated as one of the major countries in that field. And the African Union appointed in 2018 His Majesty Mohammed VI as champion for migration in Africa. So those are basically just a few actions. Really, if we talk about Morocco and Africa, it can take us the whole day to talk about that.
Yes, I think Morocco holding everything like
Thank
a climate
you.
change. Okay, for the last question, what current challenges does Morocco face? So how is your country addressing such challenges?
Yes, I was expecting a question like that because there is always challenges.
Yes.
Whatever we do, we always face challenges. We always face shortages, and the nice part of it is to recognize that we have challenges and to face them. That's the most important part of finding a solution to those challenges. Recognize that before. Well, despite achieving important socio-economic progress, Morocco continues to face challenges relevant to, let's say, geography, like natural disaster, water scarcity, and so on. One of the major issues that really attracted the attention of His Majesty, and he holds many meetings about that, is to address the issue of water scarcity and ensure a sustainable and resilient future for the economy. So we've been implementing two main strategies or 3, plus minus. So it's in the 2020, 2030, it's 10 years national strategy for natural disaster risk management. That's to ensure effective natural disaster prevention and post-disaster management. Been through a severe earthquake in the region of Al-Haws, and that really teaches us a lesson in order to really have a proactive strategy on that field of natural disaster management. We have the 2020 and 2027 national drinking water supply and irrigation. Water is very important. Agriculture for Morocco is one of the pillars of the economy and one of the big creators of job opportunities. So in order to enhance water security, we came with that strategy or program to fight against climate change and to mitigate the impact of drought. We've been facing for the last few years a very severe drought. We have the 2030 National Energy Strategy. We are one of the major countries when it comes to renewable energy, especially solar energy. So to increase the contribution of renewables in its total power capacity to 52% by 2030, that's very soon, and raise it to 70% by 2040 and 80% by 2050, which is really a very ambitious program. So we are trying this national energy strategy in order to use our technological progress in the energy storage, green hydrogen, renewable energy, cost decrease, and so on. So it's really a very important. The other big challenge is the consolidation of Morocco's national sovereignty and territorial integrity. As you may be aware, Morocco underwent a complex colonization and decolonization process. In 1912, the Kingdom of Morocco was split into 2 areas of occupation, with Tangier as an international city or under international mandate. France occupied the center of Morocco, and Spain settled in the top north and the far south of Morocco. Morocco achieved independence in 1956. However, the Morocco's southern provinces, Dakhla, Wad al-Dahab, Al-Ayoun, Saqi al-Hamra, remained under the control of Spain, and other cities as well, two cities in the north of that Saharan provinces. So the purpose of recovering the southern provinces, Morocco in negotiation with Spain, the colonial power, and for geopolitical reasons relevant to the Cold War era, Morocco's effort to achieve full independence was undermined and hindered by external powers, and the southern provinces, commonly referred as the Moroccan Sahara, continued to be disputed. To fulfill its sovereignty over its whole territory and preserve its territorial integrity, Morocco has been fully engaged in a UN-led process and proposed in the year 2007 an initiative for negotiating an autonomy plan for the Sahara region as a political solution. Such an initiative has been supported by an increasing number of UN country states, recognizing it as relevant, as serious and credible in order to resolve the dispute. The autonomy initiative is supported by the 2 former colonizing powers, especially mainly France and Spain. It is as well supported by the USA, who recognized the sovereignty of Morocco over that territory, and several European countries, African countries, Asian countries, reaching basically more than 113 states at the UN. And to support such a positive momentum, I think 29 countries from Africa, Asia, and Americas, as well as some regional bodies, opened consular representations in Dakhla and Al-Ayoun. The challenge that you were asking me about is that we have to develop in the same time those regions, and believe me, they are now very much developed, similar to their sister cities in the other regions of Morocco, and to keep this momentum of international recognition of the Moroccan autonomy plan, and to bring more and more countries to support it, because the support of that plan is as well a support of the UN-led effort, and it's the support for the stability and the prosperity of our area in general, not only in Morocco, but Morocco, North Africa, Africa, and even the Mediterranean Portugal countries. So it's really an existential issue for Morocco. As such, Moroccans remained really engaged enlarging the scope of that support in order to finalize once for all this issue.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for today. It's such my honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thanks a lot. Thank you.